Hi there, coming to you live from my bedroom. I am Angeli with you on a special holiday treat discussing my research project, which is how anxiety, uncertainty, and avoidance affects our communication skills. So, to discuss my research, I based it off of two different areas and it related to the avoidance uncertainty management theory. No, JK. Anxiety uncertainty management theory. And it also affiliates with psychodynamic theory, conflict management resources, and many other theories. So, I wanted to know what triggers us inside to have anxiety, to have uncertainty, to have avoidance when it comes to communicating with people we know or strangers. Because I have very high leveled anxiety attacks and panic attacks, and I just think that, or at least I want to understand what it is that inhibits me from communicating with someone effectively. So, I think what I discovered from my research is that managing your anxiety and your anxiety, your uncertainty, and your avoidance responses is actually an emotional trigger. And there are certain ways to approach the situation. For example, when you let your anxiety get too high without addressing it or finding a way to manage that conflict, it actually starts to apply to every other situation you have in your life, which is also known as the psychodynamic theory. In addition to that, conflict management, if you haven't taken the class yet, you really should, and especially if you're a communications major, then you won't know or understand exactly what you can do to address the situation with the stranger or the person you meet, or how you should react or respond to the emotional triggers inside of you. So, when I learned about the approach through the resources that I used, I wanted to see what exactly they were talking about. So, I did a little testing. I observed my surroundings. Given that I'm in multiple social groups, it was interesting to see how they're interacting with one another or how you're interacting with a stranger. For example, today I was in the line in the GC pit trying to get coffee or trying to get pastelitos. But the thing is, you're around people you don't know. And then I'm also around my friend. So the way I interacted with my friend, I've known her for 3 years, while we've been distant, we treat each other like sisters. And that anxiety, my uncertainty, and my avoidance levels are really low. However, the person that I met, Lita, I didn't know her at all. But at the same time, the way I addressed her, it was very calm. It was very soothing. I responded to her in a very, unanxious way. Versus the other person who was beside us, he was very anxious. He was very uncertain. And he was on high alarms. He kept yelling in Spanish. And he kept trying to, bring a negative vibe to everything. That emotional trigger inside of him caused the conflicts to erupt in multiple cases. For example, when he couldn't take more than 2 pastelitos, he was having issues with the strangers in front of him. And he started to have that conflict go on to us, where he was venting out his energy and also yelling at us in Spanish. Then he went to the coffee machine, and there's only a certain amount of choices. You can't respond in a way with all the conflicts. So, applying my research, I also did this with my friend groups. Some people like to respond where they avoid the conflict. or at least dealing with it. But that's not healthy either, because it just leaves people left with uncertainty about whether you are upset or not at them. Then you have people who have their anxiety go to the point where they shut down, aka me. That's not necessarily well either, because that anxiety keeps you from living or learning from that moment. And then you have the people with uncertainty. When you're uncertain about something, you refrain from doing it. I remember from a previous experience that I told myself that I should live my life with no regrets and no resentment. So I should make the choices where I do not regret making that choice, but I don't resent making that choice either. You have to have a balance whenever anything comes. So that's where uncertainty comes into play. You have to know when to do something or when not to do something. So in the end of all of this, I think my research and the applied knowledge and learning about the other theories all tie together, because it's all a part of me and my experiences and how I connect with it, or the research itself. While I have high anxiety and panic attacks, I know that with proper conflict management resources, I can breathe my way through it. I can also try to stop my emotional trigger by talking or addressing the situation instead of avoiding it, because avoiding it only makes the situation worse. And then when it comes to uncertainty, if I'm not sure about something, just ask. The worst thing somebody can say to you is no. And I think that I've been told no enough in my life to know that you never know when somebody's going to say yes. So that's it on the Angie channel. Have a wonderful... Nope. Not working. Have a happy holiday. Nope. That's not the ending either. Okay. I enjoyed being in this class with you guys and communication theory for life. But have a happy holiday and enjoy this time with your family. Peace out.